Welcome to our deep dive into the conflicts initiated by Russia since Vladimir Putin came to power in 1999. From Chechnya to Ukraine, we'll explore the key wars and military interventions that have shaped modern geopolitics. So grab your borscht and settle in, because things are about to get very real. Our first stop is Chechnya, a small, predominantly Muslim republic in southern Russia. Known for its rugged, mountainous terrain and rich cultural heritage, Chechnya has a long history of resistance against foreign domination. In 1999, a series of apartment bombings across Russia blamed on Chechen separatists provided the pretext for Putin to launch a second Chechen war. This conflict was marked by intense and brutal fighting, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. The result was a brutal conflict that saw the Russian military raze Grozny, the Chechen capital, to the ground. The city, once vibrant and full of life, was reduced to rubble and ash. This war cemented Putin's image as a strongman leader willing to do whatever it took to maintain Russia's territorial integrity. His decisive actions during the conflict boosted his popularity at home. Of course, territorial integrity is often just a fancy way of saying, we want to control this land, even if it means bombing it back to the Stone Age. The devastation left behind showed that Russia was willing to kill thousands of civilians and erase entire cities in the name of its imperialist ambitions. Fast forward to 2008, a year that would mark a significant turning point in the geopolitical landscape. Vladimir Putin had clearly developed a taste for military intervention, showcasing his willingness to use force to achieve his objectives. This time the target was Georgia, another small post-Soviet state with a history of separatist movements backed by Russia. The regions of South Ossetia and Abkhazia were at the center of this conflict. When Georgia tried to reassert control over South Ossetia, Russia responded with overwhelming military force, swiftly moving its troops into Georgian territory. Russia recognized South Ossetia and Abkhazia as independent states, a move widely condemned by the international community. This recognition further complicated the already tense situation. The 2008 Russo-Georgian War was a stark reminder that Putin was not afraid to use military force to achieve his geopolitical goals. The conflict left a lasting impact on the region and highlighted the fragile nature of post-Soviet states. In 2014, Putin decided to play a game of whose Crimea is it anyway? Spoiler alert, he thought it was his. With a confident smirk, he set his sights on the Crimean Peninsula, a region with a complex history and strategic importance. After Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych was ousted, Russia wasted no time in making its move on the Crimean Peninsula. The political turmoil in Ukraine provided the perfect cover for Russia's bold actions. Masked soldiers, often referred to as Little Green Men, took control of key infrastructure, including airports and government buildings, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and fear. While a hastily organized referendum was held, the speed and efficiency of the operation left many in shock. The international community saw this referendum for what it was, a sham election orchestrated by Moscow. Despite the overwhelming yes vote, the legitimacy of the process was widely questioned. The annexation of Crimea sent shockwaves through the international community, leading to widespread condemnation and sanctions against Russia, marking the first time since World War II that a European country had annexed the territory of another by force. This event reshaped geopolitical dynamics and set a dangerous precedent for future conflicts. As if annexing Crimea wasn't enough, Russia decided to keep the chaos train rolling right into eastern Ukraine. In the Donbas region, separatist movements, fueled by Russian propaganda and military support, declared independence from Ukraine. The war in Donbas is a tragedy for all involved, a stark reminder of the human cost of geopolitical gamesmanship and Putin's willingness to use military force. In 2015, Putin decided to add another line to his resume: kingmaker of the Middle East. With the Syrian civil war raging, Russia swooped in claiming to fight terrorism, but really it was all about propping up their old pal, Assad. Russian airstrikes targeted both ISIS and other rebel groups, but often civilian areas bore the brunt of the bombing. Russia's intervention in Syria was a game-changer, demonstrating Russia's willingness to project its military power far beyond its borders. Just when the world thought the legacy of conflict couldn't deepen, Russia launched its second invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. This time, the scale and intensity were unprecedented. The invasion began with a massive buildup of Russian troops along Ukraine's borders, followed by a full-scale military assault. Cities like Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Mariupol became battlegrounds, with devastating consequences for civilians. The international community reacted swiftly. Sanctions were imposed on Russia by the United States, the European Union, and other countries. Military aid flowed into Ukraine, with nations providing weapons, intelligence, and humanitarian assistance. The invasion sent shockwaves through global politics. NATO countries reinforced their eastern flanks, while neutral nations reconsidered their stances. The conflict also exacerbated global economic issues, with energy prices soaring and supply chains disrupted. The human toll has been immense, with thousands of lives lost and millions displaced. The war has also reignited debates about sovereignty, democracy, and the balance of power in the modern world. As the conflict drags on, the world watches closely, hoping for a resolution but bracing for further instability. The 2022 invasion of Ukraine showed the world once again that Russia continues to use violence in order to attempt to expand its borders. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into global events.